So this week I've been out thrifting and looking for items to resell on eBay for profit, but I thought I'd share with you some of the attributes and characteristics I look for in an item when I'm out sourcing. You know, what makes things jump out at you? What makes things pop off the shelf? I'll run through a few brands that you should be looking out for as well. Let's get on with it. Hey guys, Ian, the Master of Pieces here. I'm a part-time eBay reseller, and in this video I'm going to run through everything that's sold so far this week, but more importantly, I just want to have a little chat about what makes things really appeal to you when you go out sourcing to find things to sell on eBay. You know, what makes things jump off the shelf and make you think, you know what, that looks really neat. I want to research that a bit more to actually work out, is it worth my time to resell? And what's made me go along this whole thought path, right, was I have been trying to move into men's clothing to supplement all the toys and board games and collectibles and stuff that I buy. But I'm finding it quite difficult to expand into a new niche. And I think it is because you're sourcing and you're identifying things in a very different way. So as an example, right, first up, I want to say a big thank you to everyone on my last video that's left loads of comments, particularly Lee the Cola Flipper, of lots of different brands to look out for when I'm out sourcing for clothes. So when I was in the charity shop Wednesday, I felt I was armed with lots of different kind of brands in my head, scrolling through, and I'm looking for the label. I'm looking for that particular brand, right? And you know what? I actually had some luck. I have found a piece of clothing today to show you, and I'm really pleased because I think it's my first piece of clothing that I've properly found, right? But after about the fourth or fifth charity shop, I'm getting a bit bored, right? And I did glance over to the toys because the toys always attract me, and right, I saw this up on the shelf, and instantly I knew I had to bin off all the t-shirts and the clothes and go and have a closer look. Now, there's obviously no brand on that. You can't see a name on that, but I could tell from the scale, I could tell from the detail, I could tell from the paintwork that this is quite a special toy, right? And hey, look, I have sold this particular brand before. This is Papo. This is a Papo T-Rex. When I picked it up, I could feel by the weight, and I knew before I even found the Papo sign that that's what it was. Paid £1 for it. He's worth about £15 plus postage. But I didn't know what brand it was from there. Well, I guess I did know what brand, because there are other things on that identify the brand to me. Now, I know I am very new into looking at men's clothing, but the best way that I can explain my experience so far is it's almost like if you're out looking for video games or if you're looking for books. You're looking at, it all looks relatively the same. You might have different colours and stuff like that, but you're looking at titles. And over time, you get to know what titles aren't very good. So looking at the Xbox games, for example, you know FIFAs don't even look at. You know Tiger Woods games don't even look at, generally. And that's kind of in clothing. Don't look at Primark. Don't look at your supermarket brands to resell. But there are a couple of titles you know do well. So, you know, you might find a Grand Theft Auto. You might find like a Wii Sports or something like that. You know that those will generally do okay. And actually, there might be some titles on that shelf that you don't recognise, and it's worth your time looking on sold listings to see whether it is, you know, a decent item or not. Now, don't get me wrong, there are lots of different toys and stuff where that principle can apply. If you're stood looking at different board games, I've got an example here, look. You might see all the board games lined up, and you might see MB Games. If you see that and it's an old box, it's worth your time just looking to see if it's there. Another example, this will do here. Look, if that's on the shelf there, you can see Tomy. That might be worth just looking and kind of, you know, seeing if it's worth your time again. There's a couple of brands that whenever I see, I do search. But in general, it's not the brand that I am looking for. Actually, I think this is why when I have looked at clothes and picked up clothes before, it is the football shirts and the rugby shirts that have popped out of me because they just look very different. So if it's not the brand name you're looking for in particular, what makes the characteristics of that or the characteristics of that or that jump out at you and make you think, actually, that might be a pretty good item to research and resell? And you know what? Over the past couple of years, I've built up my knowledge of that type of stuff in a few different ways. First up, when I do my swaps with Connor the Welsh poker picker, I usually receive bagfuls of stuff that I would never even look at twice, but it's enabled me to find a few items that when I see them out, I know what they are because I've sold them before. Next up, good old-fashioned Facebook Marketplace and Gumtree, just bulk listings. If you go on there, search through all the toys or whatever genre you want to, and you see a lot of volume for a cheap price, it's a lot of bang for buck. It might make you think, actually, hang on, I might have a look at this and see what this is all about. That's how I learned about Schleck. That's how I learned about Trackmaster. That's how I've got my Transformer knowledge. I think that has been a really, really good source of information. But the main way, right, is good old-fashioned graft. Just stood in the toy aisle when I'm there with my son and he's there playing around on the floor with all the toys, annoying all the staff, and I'm just looking at all the items on my sold listings. Same as if I was going through the clothes, looking at the different brands, looking at sold listings. That is the key. And you know what? The more and more that you do it, the more and more items that you just remember, and the more lucky you get. Because if you go into a shop and you're looking for X amount of brands, it is complete luck if you find one of those brands. But the more and more of those brands you're looking for, the larger the list, the more luck and chance of you finding something, the higher that is going to be, isn't it? But hey, one thing that just bonds all resellers together, and where I think the real reselling skill is, if you find an item that, obviously is, might be worth reselling, you've still got to consider how much you're paying for it. What are the sold listings telling you that you might be able to sell it for? How many of these are currently listed on eBay? So what's your competition? How many of them are sold? So how likely is it, how popular is it as an item? What is the condition? All of those different factors you need to balance up and think, is this worth picking up? Does this suit my business plan? Am I going to make profit, and how quickly am I going to make that profit? That is where I think the real skill of reselling is. But anyway, whenever I go through the charity shop pickup, I'm going to run through a few items and why they jumped out at me and why I picked them up. But first up, let's run through what's sold on eBay Monday and Tuesday. Right, let's get and pick Monday and Tuesday's eBay orders. And first up, I sold this Adidas golf polo shirt. There really isn't much going on with it. It's just plain white with a few black stripes. And this was up on my eBay store for over a year. So I delisted it, relisted it, and it sold within 3 days. Climber light on there, size medium. It does have quite a nice badge on the sleeve there. That's gone for £17.50 plus postage. So really, really pleased with that one. Next up, we've gone a little bit jigsaw crazy. I've sold 4, but the bottom 2 haven't been paid for yet. And again, some of these are old listings that have just been rejuvenated by relisting them. This 1500 piecer, this was on for well over a year. That's gone for £9.50 plus postage, Jan van Hasteren. This one over here, though, that was only up for a week. A Ravensburger 1000 piecer, £8 plus postage. These next two, like I said, haven't been paid for. I only paid 50 pence for that one on the top there, that dog one. That's gone for £8 all in. And on the bottom, a 3000 piecer Ravensburger. That's like an African sunset scene. That's gone for £13 plus postage. I hope those two come in and get paid. Right, let's move over into the little shoe corner of the garage because I sold that pair of Puma football boots here. Now these are Puma Evo Speeds. Not really too much going on with them. Plain stud pattern, just moulded studs. They certainly aren't the top range Puma boots there, but reasonable condition. UK size 7, paid £3 in the charity shop. They've gone for £13 plus postage. Next up, let's go up to the little Care Bear bag, because I am accumulating a few Care Bears. And this one I'd only listed quite recently. It is one of the old school ones from back in the day. It's a Kenner one, but it isn't in the best condition. You can see there are a few dirty marks on it. So I accepted an offer of £8.50 plus postage, and actually the buyer has messaged to ask if I could wrap this up nicely in bubble wrap and put it in a box because they want to keep that Care Bear logo there nice and fresh. No worries with that at all. Right, let's move over to this tub here of just miscellaneous toys because we've sold another Monster Jam Monster Truck. I think it's this one here. I just caught a glimpse of the blue. That's it. This one is called Blue Thunder. Really nice condition. No paint chips on it whatsoever. I don't know what I paid for it. 50 pence, a pound, something like that. That's gone for £8.50 plus postage. Right, set that down there so we remember where that is. Right, next up then we sold a teddy. And Yeah, I put it in this box because, again, this one hasn't been listed for too long. It's the dragon off of Shrek. And this dragon here, I got it as part of my trade with Connor, the Welsh poker picker. This is sold for £10 plus postage. Right, I think there's only one more to go, and it's tucked around this side here. This is a rejuvenated old listing, and it's Sonic. It's like a squidgy Sonic. I paid 50 pence or something like that in the charity shop. He's only gone for £5 plus postage, but I got my initial price wrong. I was pricing him as if he was brand new. So yeah, took a very reasonable offer, I think. So yeah, glad to get Sonic gone. Right, so on Wednesday, I went thrifting to look for things to resell on eBay for profit. And look, I haven't come back with any life jackets or anything random like that, but I've bought a nice selection of things, and I want to run through a few of them just to let you know why they jumped out at me. Why did those particular items warrant me having a second look? And first up, right, I found this. It's a boxed Twilight Edward Cullen figure. Now, first step, doesn't matter if you like Twilight, doesn't matter if you think that's cool, doesn't matter. It's what your buyer thinks. And any boxed action figure, just always look it up because some of them are worth mega money. And what attracted me to this, right, is just look at the detailing on him. That's not just a little child's toy, is it? That is something for a collection to go up on the shelf. And when I looked at the bottom, it's made by a company called NECA. Now look, if you see anything NECA, always check it out because they make really high quality collectibles, and some of them do go for a lot of money. This one unfortunately doesn't. If this was in good condition, it is missing a little shield up there. That's worth about £15 to £16 plus postage. I paid £1 for it, and I'll be aiming for about £10 plus postage for that one. Next up, I found this teddy bear here. And again, what attracted me to this is I've sold a very similar style teddy bear from one of the Welsh poker pickups trades I've done. And if you look at the label, you will see it's by a company called Russ. Now Russ, they made those like old school trolls with like the really like wacky hair. So instantly it's a recognizable brand. And this was actually an instance where these were all in like the toy bin, and I was starting to have a look at the labels to see if there was any labels that I recognized. And I paid £1 for this one. He's probably worth about £10 plus postage. Next up, I found a jigsaw, and you do see me pick up jigsaws. Now these aren't really for me about the brand, although there are some good jigsaw brands. For me, number of pieces. I aim for 1,000 minimum. The higher the pieces, number of pieces, the more chance you've got of it being worth something. But this, for jigsaws for me, is all about the picture. And obviously you've got Thunderbirds here, a nice old school, iconic kind of collectible theme. It is a limited edition. That was worth my time checking sold listings. Paid £2.50. That's worth about £12.50 plus postage. And also, what I would just highlight here is you've got 3 items there. If they all come in, that's probably worth about just under £30 profit if you take off fees. And I've spent £4.50. So although they're not wow items, they're not big kind of sellers. I mean, it all adds up, doesn't it? So that's really cool. So yeah, good start. Next up, let's go with some shoes actually. Now I saw these. I saw them on the shelf and I thought, who on earth is going to wear them? They are, they look hideous. But again, doesn't matter what I think, does it? What got my eye with these is it says Skechers inside, and I've watched other YouTubers sell Skechers successfully, and I've sold a few pairs as well. So there's that brand recognition. Now these only cost £3. I did look on Google Lens. I couldn't find these exact ones in the shop, but I saw similar styles go for 15 to 20, and I did actually find this pair when I got home and did a bit more research. I've got them up for £20 plus postage. And while we're on the theme of shoes, Adidas Predators. You know I always pick up Predators. There we go. Even if they're in children's size, they are always worth picking up. An iconic, they're known for well-made boots and stylish boots. Paid £1 for them. Children's size 11. I'm aiming for £8 plus postage. Next up, it was time to do just a little bit of grafting, right? And I went through some video games. Now this is where titles pop out at you. Grand Theft Auto 4, paid £1 for that one. That should be going for £5 or £6 plus postage, and I've got actually the guide to bundle in with that one as well. But then there are some brands or some names, some titles that I recognise Skate. I've played Skate back in the day, but I don't often see Skate out there. Paid £1 for that one. That'll only go for about £3 plus postage, but I thought it was just worth the punt anyway. Nice, quick, easy listing. Next up, bundle of 3 books. I always pick up these if they're cheap enough. I paid 30 pence, 10 pence each. How I got to know that the Hunger Games book trilogy sells is because I sold my own personal copy and they went super quick. These ones, you've got to price them low because there are so many that they'll go for about £6 plus postage. I got them up for £5.50 just to get them gone. Right, another brand that a few people write off actually, and that is the Disney Store stamped plushes. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot out there that aren't worth very much. This one here, this is Nala off of Lion King. I paid 50 pence, only worth £5 or £6 plus postage. But you saw in my last video, I sold that pink elephant, Bing Bong. He went for 25 quid. It's always worth, if you see the Disney Store stamp, just to do a bit more research to see if you've actually found a bit of a gem. And if it's worth your time. Right, only a couple to go now just to show you. In this bag here are some Matchbox cars. Now, hey, look, there are so many brands of cars out there in there, but the ones you're looking out for, Matchbox, Corgi, and Dinky as well. But these ones, you know, it's sad. I recognize them by like the type of like wheels. That is sad, right? But actually on the bottom it does say Matchbox. But the only reason I picked up this bag for is because I remember these from my youth. These are kind of interchangeable ones. I've got helicopters, cars and stuff like that. Whole bag full. Paid a £5 for that bag. I've got them listed up for about £30 plus postage. And the final thing, actually what's in here? Oh no, a couple more things. Let me show you these. Airfix kits. You know, if you see any model kit, it's worth looking, particularly if it's brand new and sealed, because you know that all the bits are in there. Paints, glue, brush, always a bonus. £1.50 I paid for that one. That one is already sold for £6 plus postage within a few hours. Again, not a massive sale, but quick sale. And the final thing in this is a teddy bear, another teddy bear. But this one is a bit of a obscure brand. Now, firstly, what attracted me to this was it looks reasonably made, doesn't it? It looks reasonably good condition from the outset. Still got the tag on, so you can get away with it being new. I had the original price on, 20 quid. Okay, that's making me think that this had some original decent value when it was brand new. But looking on the back, I saw the brand Applause. I was thinking, where have I seen Applause for? I remember I've been selling or have sold previously those Garfield teddies. A lot of those were Applause. So I just remembered from that previous pickup that those Garfield ones did pretty well. And actually, I paid £3 for this. I'll be aiming for about £15 plus postage for him. But the final thing, this is the final thing, and this is, I'm going to say my first real clothing find. Well, since I've been actually trying to look for clothes to resell, that isn't football shirts or isn't like an Adidas or an obvious brand. I found this here. What we've got is, it's by Low Alpine, and I'd never heard of Low Alpine before. This was just going through, looking at sold listings, doing that graft. Now, it's kind of a weird material. It's all squares. It's like a real thin fleece, and I've seen that material on one of Chaddy Pete's videos. So that's what kind of caught my eye for this, was the material. It's a size XL. Good size, checked it all over, no holes, no rips, no nothing, and it was only £2. Sold listings are telling me that should go for about £20 plus postage. So yeah, it goes. This is a perfect example, right, of where I'm using lots of different sources of knowledge. I used Chaddy Pete's video for the material. I know there's a few resellers who go on about like walking gear and hiking gear being worth it, and also just good old-fashioned checking sold listings, doing your graft. So there we are, pretty successful kind of charity shop haul. In fact, all of this has been listed already, so that's even more of a bonus, and hopefully it should be bringing in a nice bit of profit. Right, let's finish off the video by running through Wednesday and Thursday sales. So here's what sold Wednesday and Thursday. Well, first up, those 2 jigsaws there have been paid for, which is brilliant. I mentioned the Airfix model earlier, paid £1.50, that's gone for £6 plus postage. Those Hunger Games books are sold within 12 hours, paid 30 pence, they've gone for £5.50 plus postage. Up here, I bought this pair of Adidas size 7 Predators, bright red, from the boot sale. When was it? Last weekend. £3 are paid. They've gone for £12 plus postage. These Brooks, check out these, even though they've got all of that damage on them, like that. These are Brooks Ravina 7s. They have gone for £12 plus postage. Paid £1 for them. And finally, I saw this Doctor Who figure set here. Would have paid a couple of quid at the boot sale. They've gone for £7 plus postage. So there we go, guys. Leave a comment below and let me know any brands that you look out for in particular and what makes items really jump out at you. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch up with you in the next one. See you guys. Bye-bye.